If you watch the ads, I'm sure you've seen them, although a lot of Pennsylvanians are seeing them because there's a lot of ads out there right now. They would say that you want to defund the police, and it seems to be trying to frighten some folks. Can you set the record straight on that?
I not only don't want to defund the police, I'm the one calling for $300 million more for local police, for community policing. I also think we should add social workers and psychologists help police on 911 calls. The only person calling to defund the police is Donald Trump. Look at his budget. He calls for cutting police funding for state and local help by $400 million. Once again, he's pathological. The last thing you need is an up-armored Humvee coming into a neighborhood. It's like the military invading. They don't know anybody. They become the enemy. They're supposed to be protecting these people. So my generic point is that...
Do we agree that we can redirect some of the funding?
Yes.
Are you for defunding the police?
How are you defining defund the police? We need to reimagine how we are achieving public safety in America. And to have cities where 1/3 of their entire budget is going to policing, but yet there is a dire need in those same cities for mental health resources.
Defunding the police doesn't mean abolishing the police. It means taking some of those funds that are typically 1/3 of the budget of a city and giving some of those funds to services like mental health.
It's about these police precincts that have tanks, that have military weaponry, and frankly have a degree of material resources and warlike weaponry that people ask, why does a local police precinct have this in the first place? So when we talk about defunding, it can show up in multiple ways.
You've talked about the need to dismantle the Minneapolis Police Department. What takes its place?
What we are saying is the current infrastructure that exists as policing in our city should not exist anymore. And so dismantling it and then looking at what funding priorities should look like as we reimagine a new way forward is what needs to happen.
And so I have instructed and committed to, in public to that group, that our city, through our city administrative officer, identify $250 million in cuts so we could invest in jobs, in health, in education, and in healing.
We've got to re-examine what we're doing with American taxpayer dollars and ask the question, are we getting the right return on our investment? Are we actually creating healthy and safe communities? And that's a legitimate conversation, and it requires a really critical evaluation. I applaud Eric Garcetti for doing what he's done.
When Americans hear the phrase defund the police, you're not calling for defunding police departments and getting rid of police. Explain what you mean by that phrase.
When we talk about defunding the police, what we're saying is invest in the resources that our communities need.